Coming up this week on Montclair News Lab, we begin our year-long coverage on climate change.
There's never been this much sudden carbon in the atmosphere before.
Disney also stopped by to talk to Montclair students on how they can get involved in the Disney magic.
And look at the type of internships that we're offering.
And later, we're taking a look back at the Negro Leagues.
The South, is still very segregated. This is very pre-civil rights in this country.
From the School of Communication and Media at Montclair State University, this is Montclair News Lab. Hello and welcome to Montclair News Lab. I'm Grace Rowland.
And I'm Carly Enriquez. We're kicking off our year-long look into climate change and the effect it has on our environment.
Montclair News Lab reporter Shayla Baez gives us a glimpse into what MSU students plan to do to bring awareness to this issue.
While climate change has been a major issue for decades, it wasn't until recently that it became the topic that has been front and center of every news outlet. Let's start with some terms. When people talk about weather, they're usually talking about how it will be today, tomorrow, or maybe next week. Climate refers to the usual weather a particular place has. Climate takes hundreds or even millions of years to change. Climate change is when there is a change in that usual weather. Global temperatures are continuing to rise due to the continued increase of greenhouse gas emissions. Our Earth is heating, and it continues to increase over the years to abnormal levels. According to NASA, temperatures in 2018 were 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than in the period between 1951 and 1980. The past 5 years are, collectively, the warmest years in the modern record, causing an increase in wildfires, more frequent droughts, increase in extreme weather events, melting glaciers, rising sea levels, the list goes on. If changes aren't made soon, the future outlook of our Earth isn't too good. Montclair State University students care and want to make a difference. This is why this year, our focus will be on climate change.
We got three fantastic professional reporters. We have folks from the New York and New Jersey Baykeeper here.
College students from all over New Jersey, including Montclair State, attended the Climate Collaboration Launch and Riverboat reporting trip before the semester began. Here, students got the opportunity to learn about how climate change is affecting New Jersey and how to cover it. Students also got the opportunity to share why they believed climate change is an important topic of discussion.
There's never been this much sudden carbon in the atmosphere before, so it'll take a little bit, but we're expecting like a huge degree of ocean rising, and New Jersey is very low-lying, so we're very vulnerable to it.
Now, the semester has begun, and students have started to work on spreading awareness on the topic. We began with a colloquium in which students and faculty explored how to get involved through the school's multiple platforms.
Consumer activism is basically the idea that you are performing your activism through a purchase that you're making. And companies are constantly using social issues to get you to buy products rather than fixing the things that they could, and they're often the source of the problem.
The School of Communication and Media will be airing a statewide program on climate change issues affecting New Jersey in November. Here, experts will be interviewed and students will get an opportunity to showcase their work. Both WMSC, the school's radio station, and the Montclarian, the school's newspaper, will be focusing on covering climate change all year long. The goal? To give students a journalistic and creative outlook to explore climate change. For Montclair News Lab, this is Shayla Baez.
We would like to thank Mackenzie Robertson and Russell Sullivan for being the videographers of the trip. We will feature more stories about climate change throughout the year.
Securing an internship while in school or getting a job after graduation isn't always easy. Disney, one of America's biggest media companies, recently stopped by Montclair State with some important tips. News Lab reporter Jeremy Wall tells us more.
What do Marvel, Star Wars,
we're home,
the Muppets, ABC News, and our local ABC station have in common? They are all owned by Disney. Recruiters from the entertainment giant recently held a standing room only session at Montclair State School of Communication and Media to speak to students about employment opportunities across its many divisions. Representing Disney were Montclair State alumnus and ABC News executive Al Prito, recruiter Susanna Camacho, and the company's senior campus recruiter Kim Sarabian.
And look at the type of internships that we're offering. So let's say that you are interested in production, or you're really interested in investigative reporting. Look at those job descriptions and those internships now and see what they're looking for.
We have creative services, we have digital, so we have a lot. New York is focused mainly on ABC News and production, but we have positions all throughout the country as well.
The editor-in-chief of the Montclairian, the Montclair State student newspaper, Heather Burzek, interned for ABC's New York station WABC-TV this summer.
It was a very challenging experience, and I would definitely recommend it for a Montclair State University student because it puts them directly into the real world. They expect a lot out of you, and you'll come out of it with a lot more knowledge in the industry and a lot more discipline when it comes to applying for a job and having skills.
Although students as young as freshmen and sophomores attended, the presentation was intended for juniors and seniors.
The reason we say juniors and seniors and recent grads is because a lot of these internships unfortunately aren't first-time internships.
That didn't discourage sophomore Olivia Pasalakla from attending.
I thought being there as a sophomore was very beneficial because I felt like I got a lot of the information a year in advance. And I feel like going into it next year, or maybe if I apply over the summer, I don't feel like I'm going in blinded. I feel like I was very well educated on their program.
The applications are out now, but they won't be up for long. For Montclair News Lab, I'm Jeremy Wall.
Another part of finding a job is having a mentor. This fall, a new batch of students in the School of Communication and Media here at Montclair State were paired with industry professionals through the school's mentorship program. News Lab reporter Amanda Eustace shares what the program is all about.
The mentorship program pairs media industry mentors with students to help open doors and provide guidance. Senior Tiffany Baskerville said if it wasn't for her mentor, Shakima Edwards, she wouldn't know where to go within her career.
I think one of the most important things in the beginning of the stage of the mentorship is I didn't have any direction at all. And I think she pointed me in the right direction of where I want to go with my career.
Mark Rosenwig, a retired professor at MSU and creator of the Mentor Program, says that although mentors are there to help, it is ultimately up to the students to put the effort in and learn.
If they know about resume preparation, if they know about networking techniques, if they know about how to conduct themselves in a job interview, whether it's for an internship or entry-level position, and how to prepare for all those things, they're going to have a leg up on other students.
Highly motivated juniors and seniors are nominated by professors in the school and are matched with a mentor for a 2-semester-long program. Frankie Perez, a journalism student, took full advantage of his opportunities with his mentor.
And my mentor is Al Prieto, and he's shown me the real world almost, right? Because you could learn the technicalities and you could learn how to do things here, but Al was the next step as a mentor. He was able to show me how you put those things into practice.
We talked about interview techniques. We talked about a lot about what he wanted to do in the business, what he was interested in, what kind of atmosphere he wanted to work in, whether he felt he was wanted to be on air or behind the scenes. So try to drill down a lot into what he wanted to do, and then my job was to try to give him some guidance about what I thought was a good approach for him.
Not all mentors are industry veterans. Marjorie Chacon's mentor is MSU alum Kristen Bunk. Bunk is in the music management industry and was previously Trevor Noah's assistant on The Daily Show.
A lot of the mentors in this program, like I've noticed, they have like 20 plus experience in the industry, and mine doesn't. So my mentor literally graduated like 4 years ago, so she was in the same position as I was 4 years ago. So I think the fact that I got somebody who didn't have as much experience as everybody else, I think that helped me a lot more.
During the mentoring program, students are advised to develop as much versatility in their field to appeal to prospective employers. Also, edit your resume and social media. Employers look at them online. Develop a network of contacts in your field who can lead you to job openings and introduce you to others. Find experienced mentors who agree to periodically give you advice on your career. And prior to every job interview, do research on the company and the interviewer. The Mentor Program is the newest way the School of Communication and Media helps students succeed outside the classroom. This is Amanda Eustace reporting for Montclair News Lab.
Every week at this time, we take a minute to catch up with the school's newspaper, the Montclairian.
Our top story of the week is in the entertainment section from our web editor, Adrian, who interviewed one of the creators of the Netflix series Everything Sucks, where they talk about the creator's experience with making the series and what he is doing going forward.
Our top sports story this week is a student-athlete profile on field hockey player Yael Yona, who not only plays for the Red Hawks, but has played for Team USA in 2 different countries.
This week in the feature section, we have a student side hustles profile on Camille Blue, a student at Montclair State that runs her own hairstyling business called Twisted by Camille.
DJ George Gemgoshian to share with us how to get involved at our campus radio station. Hi, George.
Hi.
How's everything?
I'm great. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you on the stage right now.
So how can one get involved with the radio station here on campus?
So we have meetings every Wednesday at 3:30 in the Fishbowl room here in the Comm building, and if you want to get involved with an individual team, we have individual team meetings. Like the sports team, they have meetings at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays every other Wednesday.
What would you say is the most fun thing that's gone on at the radio station so far this year?
So the radio station, well, we just finished our 30-hour College Radio Day marathon last Friday, which was a lot of fun.
Wow.
And we also are doing a World Leaders covering program at the school University Hall, which is a lot of fun. And Stephen Rambola was there. He was covering the event. And yeah, so we have a lot of stuff going on.
All right. Well, thank you so much, George. You gave us a lot of great information on how one can get involved.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for coming by.
The Yogi Berra Museum at Montclair State recently opened a new exhibit, taking a look back at the Negro Leagues. News Lab reporter Ben Berube was there to show us how it went.
The Yogi Berra Museum welcomes baseball fans all over to introduce a new section dedicated to those who played in the Negro Leagues. In 1947, Jackie Robinson signed his first Major League contract, which broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. Before that, the Negro Leagues were the only opportunity for African Americans to play baseball professionally. Dedicated to players such as former Montclair resident Larry Doby, former Yankee catcher Elston Howard, and former New Jersey resident Monty Irvin, who were honored in the exhibit. Although those players are no longer alive, family members were in attendance to show their support and spoke to Montclair News Lab. Larry Doby Jr. told us on how his father would have reacted to being a part of this event.
Him and Yogi were friends since their playing days. And the fact that it's, around to educate kids about history and how things were and how they can be, I think he'd be very happy.
The exhibit gives you a small taste of baseball history, with photos of players and teams in the Negro Leagues, such as this photo of the Page Fence Giants, a team based in Michigan in 1895. Museum goers can view artifacts such as these pennants of the Negro Leagues. Elston Howard's wife, Arlene, and daughter Cheryl spoke to us on what they thought of the event and how Elston would have reacted to being part of this exhibit.
So it's an incredible event and a beautiful exhibit, and one that I learned so much about things that I did not know about the Negro League. So that was extraordinary, and I think they would have been very, very proud.
He would be very happy, very proud to be any part of it.
Yogi Berra's granddaughter, Lindsay Berra, was at the ceremony and told me how Yogi and Elston Howard got along.
When Elston came with the Yankees in 1955, the South, was still very segregated. This is very pre-civil rights in this country. And when they were in spring training in Florida, he couldn't stay in the hotels with the Yankees. He couldn't eat in the same restaurants when they were on the road. So my grandfather used to go eat with Ellie at the black restaurant so Ellie wouldn't have to be by himself.
Those who knew Yogi Berra say that he was a person who didn't see color and treated everyone with respect. And that's what the museum represents. A place where people can look back and honor those players and see how far we've come. It's like Yogi said, you've got to be very careful if you don't know where you're going because you might not get there. I'm Ben Berube from Montclair News Lab.
The exhibit is open until June 2020.
Finally, each week, Professor Thomas Franklin sends us a photo of the week from his photojournalism class. This week's photo comes from senior Annabelle Reyes. It was taken from the university's tennis courts in Little Falls, while a student was skating down a hill.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Montclair News Lab. And tweet us at MSU News Lab.
Also, visit our website, montclairnewslab.tv for more.
I'm Grace Rowland.
And I'm Carly Henriquez. See you next time.